Well, we're back.
Yay.
Hello, hello. All right, Mark, here's today's question. Why the heck do you live in Dallas, Texas? All of these people out here, especially with recent events, are figuring out what they want to do. Do they want to relocate to where?
Right.
Why are you here? Why did you choose Dallas? You could be anywhere, Mr. German man.
Yeah, I could be. It's fascinating. Much like elections, most of it comes down to pocketbook,
Oh,
right?
interesting. Okay.
So when you look at, even when I moved here in the mid 90s, job creation, cost of living, I looked at it. You're right. I could have lived anywhere in the world. At the time, I was married to somebody from Australia. We went to Sydney many a times, where she grew up. We lived in Los Angeles at the time. We had connections on the East Coast, Florida. But when we looked at cost of living, where to raise children, and job opportunities, Texas was really, even back then, stood out.
Nice.
Right? And so Dallas, for me, back in the day, or the reason we stayed in Dallas was I just didn't enjoy Houston, climate-wise. It
is sticky in the summer.
I didn't enjoy the layout of Houston. I found myself, and I did live in Houston for a year, and I found myself driving a lot, and being stuck a lot. And so I did not enjoy that. It reminded me of Los Angeles, which I didn't like about that. My commute in Los Angeles was 3 miles and took me almost 30 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. So and back in that day, I couldn't take a bicycle because the air pollution was so bad that, it just, you couldn't breathe. But anyway, so Dallas, Austin, I went to UT in Austin, so I was very familiar with Austin. It was a little bit too small for me. It felt like it was a small town, and again, getting around was difficult, even back then. And so Dallas was kind of, by default, a place we took seriously. And then once we had children, you kind of stay put, right? And you build a career in that town, and so it gets harder and harder to move out. But that's one reason. It came down to pocketbook issues for me, and it was also close to, in terms of airport, you could be anywhere.
Very true.
It's equidistance from both coasts, right? It has an international airport, so we could go to Europe and to Australia easily. So that figured into the equation too.
That is really nice.
What about you? Why did you end up in Dallas?
Why Dallas?
Why Dallas?
Well, I married a Texan.
Yeah.
And when he got out of the Navy, this is where we ended up.
Okay.
When I had a chance to leave, which I guess is a better answer, when I had a chance to leave, Texas reminded me of the agrarian society that closer to that I grew up in Florida. So people are like, "What? You're from Florida?" That's why I have no Southern accent, because Florida has that whole mix match.
They do. Yes.
All the Yankee talk and all the other stuff.
But why wouldn't you move back to Florida?
I like the fact that Texas as a whole leads with howdy. They don't lead with the middle finger or
the attitude. Right.
They lead with howdy.
And for those of you that come to Texas, respect that. Respect the Texas way of life.
Hey, we're glad you're here. Tell
howdy,
me more
neighbor.
about you.
How are you? I find it all the time. You can tell when people are Texan versus non-Texan, right? They will walk past you on a sidewalk and say hello. They actually say hello. So, respect that. I think there's a lot to that. There's a lot of warmth that comes from that Southern friendliness.
Yes.
And embrace that when you come here and live here. Take a page from that and incorporate that. I didn't grow up that way. Germany is very, cutthroat.
No,
elbows out. It's like New York. Every day you fight. You have to fight every day, right? And that's another reason I came to Texas, was because when I started going to UT, I just liked that Southern hospitality, right? So,
Which Texas is southern. It
yes,
really is.
it is.
It's,
It is.
people forget that. I also like the even to this day the cowboy spirit, if you will, and that is the self-reliance, the natural inclination to self-reliance, the can-do, will-do, done spirit. I was raised by a West Point graduate, so it's very much in line with
Yes.
with
Yes. No doesn't exist, right?
right.
You know.
It's just figure it out. You hit a wall. Okay, well that wall didn't work. Let's
Go
figure
around the
something.
wall.
Let's
Let's
figure
figure it
something
out.
else out.
Right.
I really like that part. But it's, yeah,
And
it's Texas as a whole.
And again, the quick to smile, quick to say hello. You know, those are things the rest of the world does not really have. So, you know, and I think I compare it to in Germany. There's a state called Bavaria in Germany, and Bavaria it reminds me of my home state in Germany, Bavaria, because they can also secede from Germany if they wanted to, and that
did not know that. Fun fact.
that breeds a different attitude, right? That breeds an attitude of, hey, not with me. Don't do that with me. Not here.
Not here.
Not while I'm here. You know.
They sound like sweet people.
They are very inviting.
No
So
wonder they
if you
came
go-
up with that cream, that
if you
Bavarian
go to
cream.
if you go to the Oktoberfest, trust me, there's always a table for you. All you have to do is ask.
Oh
The
wow.
Bavarians will be, hey, let me buy you a beer. They don't even know you.
That's
So
fantastic.
it's the same thing happens here.
Same thing here.
You go to a restaurant or a bar and you say, hey, can I sit with you? If they're Texan, they're going to say, hey, come on over.
Which
Sit
real
down.
quick, that's a fun Katy Trail Ice House hack.
Yes.
Those of you that are,
Locals that know the Katy Ice House.
right? Or even if golly, a Katy Ice House now, if you Google Dallas, it's going to come up as one of the things you got to go do.
One of the most popular
so those of
places.
you new to Dallas, it's pretty much it's not open seating per se. They
No, not
do
really.
unfortunately nowadays have
they
more
do.
often than not have hosts and hostesses
They
and things
do.
like that.
Yes.
But you can often like kind of just
Join a group.
join a group.
Start a conversation.
Because
right?
it's picnic table seating. So, I mean, if you've got a party of two and there's
It's one of the highest grossing bars in Dallas.
very nice. Very
It's-
nice.
It's a moneymaker, but it's fun to be there. And you always meet new people.
Absolutely.
And they bring their pets and you have great conversations, and so it's a good hangout.
Truman has met many a friendly dog.
So really, and then you have, Texas is so big that you can go on adventures all the time and never see anything twice.
Yes,
right?
and that is a fun fact about Texas as a whole, and that is the flora and fauna
Yeah.
that you find in the other 47 states on the continent.
Right.
You can find that here within the state
Texas.
of Texas.
Right.
So you can find high plains desert and desert. You can find mountains. Yes, we have mountains.
Yeah.
You can find hills. You
Yep.
can find piney forests.
Yep.
We do have oceans. We do have beaches.
Many lakes.
We have many lakes. On a side note, fun fact, they're all man-made lakes
Yes.
except for one.
One is yeah.
We do have lots of lakes now.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, as we are taping this, the most recent lake finished getting filled. Lake Bodark,
Where's
way
that?
up in North Texas,
Okay.
closer to the Red River border.
Okay.
Yeah. Our most recent dig,
Yes.
if you will, dig and dam, is Lake Bodark up
So
there.
we don't run out of water. That's the whole point,
That's
right?
right. Water's important.
Yes.
It is. But beyond that, I mean, why do we love Dallas? We love Dallas. I'm saying we, I'm speaking on you, but I love Dallas because it's a great balance of cosmopolitan
Right.
and neighborly.
Yep.
It was recently voted as one of the top arts districts
Correct.
in the country.
Very, very
So we have lots of great museums, all kinds of museums.
performing arts. We have
Performing
great performing
arts.
arts.
Yes,
It's-
and not too long ago, we were also ranked as the #1 new restaurant city in the country.
Right.
And Matt McAllister of Homewood, who was one of the big places at the time, unfortunately has had to close Homewood down. But anyway,
You never run out of options in terms
never
of
run out of
restaurants and what
options.
to do in
Well,
Dallas.
there's
You
more
just-
that can do, will do spirit going
Yep.
on all the time.
Absolutely, and it's a fun place to live. You know, you can do a lot of things. You just have to go out and seek it out, right?
Seek it.
And for me, traffic is not as bad as many other metropolitan areas. You can still
I
get
would
around.
agree.
15, 20 minutes gets you almost anywhere.
And there's
right?
multiple arteries.
Right.
Unlike many big
It's
cities,
better
there's
planned
not
out.
you're not locked into just
Right.
one
Right.
travel artery.
Which
there's other choices.
These days is very important, I think, to people. So
Mm-hmm.
if you haven't been to Dallas, come visit.
And we do have mass transportation.
Yes, we
just
do have
FYI.
that too.
People are always
Yep.
surprised when they come in and I'm showing them
do
around.
have
They're like,
some-
"Oh my gosh, is
We
that
have
a
some of that.
train?"
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it is.
So okay, so let's finish up with our picture of the,
Oh,
of
right.
the, of the episode.
Bess, what the heck is this? You're probably thinking.
What is all that crap? I mean,
Stuff.
What is all
okay.
that stuff?
Well, so we're always asked, Mark, all the time, so how's the market? This actually is a home that is in the beginnings of foreclosure because foreclosures do still happen,
do happen.
because life still happens
Yes.
and things still happen.
yes,
And so it's in the process of it basically being neglected, and you can
yeah.
You can tell.
You can tell when that starts happening in the neighborhood. You can definitely tell. And I never quite
Mm-hmm.
understand how it gets to this point, because the reality is, in most neighborhoods in Dallas and Texas, you could probably get your home sold before you get to foreclosure.
Correct.
You know, and
Correct.
and get out of it
What is
without
it, like
without
87% of homeowners have equity, so they're way
Yeah.
better off selling it.
right. Even if they make no money, than having a foreclosure on their credit.
Right.
You know, I just don't understand how it gets to that point.
Right.
You know, pick up the phone and call me. You know, if that's one of my clients, I would hope that they will call me and say, "We're in dire straits. What do we need to do?" You know?
Exactly. Exactly. And it's a relatively new home.
Yeah, it looks like in the 90s or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was like I think it's 2001. But yeah,
2001, yeah.
it's
Right.
I mean, it's relatively new.
Right.
It's newer. It is a slab. You can see it's got a different profile than other homes that we've highlighted.
And if you live next door to that, your hope is it goes quickly, right? So it can be
Exactly.
revitalized.
But going to your point of, is it better to sell or get foreclosed on? You can see right here on this post over here,
Yeah.
a vacant house or a semi-vacant house, a neglected house, does not age well.
Right.
Just like neglected children don't age well. You can see the foundation crack.
Yep.
Is because the foundation is continuing to move,
You have
whether
all
someone
that, all
or
that
is paying
mold
attention.
build up that it hasn't
Right, you
been
can see the
taken care of.
growth over
Yep.
here on the side.
Yep.
Probably related also to that post that's
Yep.
also shifting. Those two things are definitely related. It's just a sad situation. And the thing is, the neighborhood, so many cute houses all around it. Could they have sold it fairly quickly?
Yeah, they could have.
Yes.
Now it's a harder sell.
Yes. So even in this time of housing shortages and all the
Yes.
other things, foreclosure does happen, and it usually happens because you don't take the time. You panic instead of asking a professional.
Amen to that. Ask your professional. You know, if you get into financial dire straits, and you know, even if you lose your job, call me. Let's figure out a way to, how long do you think it'll take? Do you have enough reserves? Do you need to start thinking about selling? Don't leave it till last minute.
Don't leave it till last minute.
I get phone calls, especially during COVID. I got lots of phone calls from people. Hey, I just lost my job. What do I need to do? And we talked it through. So please call us. Okay.
There you go.
On that happy note, Keys and Gears, we're here for you, trying to educate you in terms of real estate and
Show you the alternative side.
yes.
The less sexy.
happy to have
headlines.
you. Tune in for the next episode. See you there.
Bye bye.